reading the New York Times op-ed that featured an administrative or Trump administration official, current Trump administration official, calling out Trump for his terrible behavior as president. Trump has responded to that op-ed by saying just one word on Twitter: treason. Also, Sarah Huckabee Sanders has issued a statement that I want to read to you right now. She says the individual behind this piece has chosen to deceive rather than support the duly elected president of the United States. He is not putting country first, but putting himself and his ego ahead of the will of the American people.
Yeah, so look, this reaction is unsurprising. In fact, as soon as I read that op-ed, I thought, why hasn't Trump tweeted yet? He is going to be in an absolute rage, but this is going to actually spin him into a different set of problems. Because look, in life overall, the first mistake isn't the issue. It's when you compound the mistakes in a panic is when you get into real trouble.
Oh, he's the compounder in chief.
Exactly right, Anna. I mean, all he does is compound. And the worse the situation is, the more he compounds. And this situation is code red. You have senior administration officials going out and telling the country, the president is mentally unstable, you should consider using the 25th Amendment. And so of course Trump's gonna lose his whatever mind he has left. And according to the senior administration official, it isn't much. So he comes out and yells treason into the abyss. I was saying in our initial coverage of it, there needs to be some sort of Kingslayer to the Mad King. Again, it's a political analogy, obviously not a physical one. And we're saying about maybe Sarah Huckabee Sanders, if she were to come out and to say, no, it's true, the president has lost his mind, that would make a giant difference. And Anna pointed out, very unlikely to be her, of course. But as I was reading it, and then Edwin, our stage manager, said the same thing during the break before this story came out, Kellyanne Conway is the most likely person, because her husband is constantly tweeting against Donald Trump to begin with. But see, that gets into palace intrigue, because the issue is, and the substance of it is much, much more important than who the leaker is.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. But it's fun to speculate about who it is. By the way,
on that too.
One final part of Sarah Huckabee Sanders' statement that I think is relevant to this. She believes that this person should do the right thing. This coward should do the right thing and resign.
Yeah. So, and as Anna alluded to in the initial story, we're going to find out who this person is.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it'll be before Donald Trump leaves office or after he leaves office. But if he leaves office and the whole country is relieved because it turns out that administration official is correct, and everyone else in the administration, it was actually trying to make sure that Donald Trump doesn't do something crazy and break the country, threaten the health of our republic, as the person said, then I think there's going to be a moment where the Republicans pretend they didn't know, and all the senators and congresspeople go, oh, well, if I knew that, I didn't know that. In reality, of course, they do know that. There was actually, believe it or not, I can't believe I'm saying this sentence, but a great report from Red State, which is a conservative blog I can't stand. But Eric Erickson did actually talk to a Republican congressman off the record, and the Republican congressman said, oh, we all know he's crazy. And I can't stand the guy. None of us can stand the guy. But we can't say it, otherwise our base is gonna flip out and vote us out of office. So, but I've been telling you that from day one. Of course they know, they're in the room with them. Yeah. Who could sit in a room with them and not realize what an idiot he is or unstable he is and what a danger he is, and he doesn't understand democracy, he doesn't understand our form of government at all.
I mean, but you know what, that argument about, oh, we can't do the right thing because if we do the right thing, our base will be upset with us. It shows you this disconnect between these elected officials and their own constituents, right? The lack of communication, the lack of helping them, the lack of representing them. They don't trust you because you haven't served them, right? So they see Trump as the person who's, because of his populist rhetoric, the person who will serve them. You need to do a better job to make your case against Trump, but they're too afraid to do it.
I mean, you want to talk about coward. Cowards are the people who know how dangerous Donald Trump is and don't do anything about it because of their own political careers.
Exactly.
So at least this official that came out to the New York Times is trying to do something to warn the country. Should he do more? Of course I think he should do more. But at least he's done that, which the rest of them haven't. And he talks about it, there's 2 tracks inside the White House. One is Donald Trump, and which is off the rails. And it's like, even if we wanted to follow his agenda, he says, which agenda? He changes his mind every minute. So it's impossible to follow anyway. So what we do is we find the course that is least damaging to the country, and we go on that track. And so it's not him alone. He says, Bob Woodward's book backs it up, every other piece of reporting we have backs it up, that there are a great number of people inside the White House that knows the president is unstable. And so they're trying to keep him on the right track in their minds. So look, I think that once Trump is gone, all those cowards will then come out and pretend, the ones that knew all along will pretend, especially the congressmen and the senators, that they didn't know. And then they'll turn around and make a hero out of this guy, because they'll say, oh yeah, he's the one that let us know, and that's why it was important, and he's a hero and all that stuff. But the reality is, right now, they all already know, and they won't act because of how afraid they are.
Exactly.
Which is so sad. They're afraid of a guy who belongs in an insane asylum.
They're willing to sacrifice our democracy in order to maintain and preserve their political careers. I mean, just think about that for a second.
2 easy ways to follow the Young Turks. One is hit the subscribe button down below, then you're a TYT subscriber. And second is ring the bell. And when you do that on YouTube, you're notified of our videos.